Hi, I'm Dr. Marc, and I'm a voice teacher and stage director. Whether you're a professional pop or rock star that's wanting to take your performance to a next level, or you're just interested in making your car singing or shower singing easier and more comfortable and fun, I can help you get there. I'll start doing that today by reacting to and teaching you singing and performing tips that we can learn from the top performers around the world. Today, let's learn from Baby Metal's performance of Road of Resistance live at Rising Sun Rock Festival 2016. Here we go. So I did a Fan Friday video where I compared them against two other J-pop groups who were at the top of the Billboard lists of all time. And I was just so interested. I'm not usually a huge metal fan. It's just not that I like it or dislike it. I've taught metal singers. I respect what they do. I think a lot of times musically it's super demanding and requires them to be excellent musicians and performers, which has never quite been my cup of tea. But here, as I'm watching this, wow, I could see myself listening to them more often and to really digging it. Why? Well, because there's really good singing going on. It's interesting and surprising both in its performance, aesthetic appeal, and what they're doing as performers, but also in terms of the contrast I'm hearing and what their voice, the music is doing. They're a mix of adorable, but an adorable that you have to take seriously. I love it. I think the whole thing is just brilliant. There's a lot we can learn from them, but as always, here's one voice tip that we can learn from them. If you're watching here, you'll realize that even though the music is really loud and the crowd is really loud, if you watch them, if you turn down the music, you're going to realize they're not screaming. They're not trying to compete. I remember being at an opera rehearsal where there were very experienced opera singers there who were putting on a pro show. And I was there with a mentor of mine, and we're sitting in the back listening to them and wondering what was going on that night because they all sounded fatigued and tired by the middle of the night. And they were singing flat a lot of the time. We were wondering what was going on. And we realized all of a sudden that it was because they were competing with each other. Not consciously. They weren't consciously trying to compete with each other, but they're kind of wanting to show off and make sure that everyone thought that their voice was big and great and awesome. And so that they were overcompensating and singing harder on their voice than they needed to. Consequently, their voices got fatigued faster. They started singing in ways that weren't super healthy, and the beauty was also compromised. Not to mention that they then paid for it the next day or two. A metal singer who's singing day after day after day with this much noise going on, the only way to survive year after year after year is to trust that you sing and do your thing and make it as consistent as possible. And then the sound engineers and designers will work everything else out for you. And they do. They sing so consistently here. Same thing for you. Get your technique so it's consistent, so that it matches the style and the sound that you want, and then find out how to make the technology work for you. What can you do today to not compete and to be more consistent and let the technology work for you? Well, there's a lot of keys. First, sing along in the car, sing along in the shower, but make the priority that you're singing easy here, that you aren't putting strain or stress. And that your focus and primary focus is on creating easy sound, easy noise. And if you're making it easily, then that's the first step to not competing, is knowing what your voice can do and do without fatiguing itself or singing in a way that's harmful. So that's the first place to start, is to become aware when you're singing in loud environments, whether it's your car or your shower, that you're not trying to sing all out, but that you're trusting, first and foremost, the sensation of ease here in your throat. The second thing you can do is to listen and record yourself and listen back and see what are the moments that you like and that sound easy and like the sound that you want, and what moments aren't. Then book a time with a voice teacher today and go figure out how to make the rest of your voice consistent with that sound you're looking for. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Is there one way or one style that's healthy and all the others are wrong? No. Are there basic vocal techniques that will help you get every style you're wanting to sing healthy and consistent? Yes, there are. So finding a professional that can help you do that is a step that you can take today. Is that cheating a little bit? Maybe, but it's true. Not necessarily because they have the knowledge, skills, and tools. You can find all kinds of tips, tools, and tricks here on YouTube. I love picking up new thoughts and ideas on YouTube, but really you need someone with trained eyes and ears to be able to listen to you make sound and help you work through to find your easiest, most efficient sound and to find your own true voice and the voice that you want and are happy with. The performance tip today that I was reminded of when I was watching them is that if you keep moving, if you don't freeze, if you stay in character, or in other words, keep the emotion of the song, the moment going, and don't break from that, don't all of a sudden go into business mode or into performer mode, but stay in the character mode of that song and keep the movement going, it won't look like a mistake to the general audience. Here, we see that they had to hand off flags and go take them back. We saw them do all kinds of different interesting stuff, but because they just owned it and made it so no matter what, it was the right thing in the moment and they didn't break character, then we believed it and we bought it and it was okay. We're willing to accept that. That's a normal, natural thing for them to want to get rid of their flags and then move on with the rest of their performance. Was it a mistake? No, I'm sure it was planned. But could it have looked like a mistake? Definitely. If all of a sudden one was like, oh, I forgot, I need to go get at the flags. And they ran over to get the flags and really awkwardly kind of took them back, then came back and then all of a sudden abruptly got into position again, that would just feel awkward. But if they just, as the character in that moment of the song, go take care of the business that needs to be taken care of and are right back in it when they can, that's fine. Audiences will forgive that, and in fact, half the time, those make for some of the best moments in a performance. What can you do today to practice this? Don't stop when you're practicing, when you're singing. Don't judge and evaluate. Let it play itself out. And then afterwards, go back and watch a video, listen to a recording, or just try to remember what it felt like in the moment when you look back at it. We get into a habit when we're singing of trying to analyze and judge and correct in the moment of singing. That creates all kinds of tensions, not just from a vocal standpoint, but as a performance standpoint. So when we're up, we have these moments, if we get in judgment, where all of a sudden we have a tell. Our body shows this moment of stress that something isn't right. And even if it's a split second, it gives it away to the audience and they know. You might think, well, but I'm in this huge concert hall. They're not going to see these little micro gestures. Wrong. They are, because a bazillion people are videoing it. If there's not an official video, which there probably is. And on top of that, your face is probably projected on a huge screen. So are they going to see it? Yes, they are. And on top of that, even those micro gestures from a long distance away, subconsciously we pick up. Even if we don't identify it, our subconscious does, and we react. It just takes that much more away from a performance. I love how they own it, how comfortable and relaxed they seem, but with such high energy for the entire performance. Really, really exciting performance to watch. Love what they do. And their sound, man, I could put that with so many different styles and genres of music and still thoroughly enjoy what I was hearing too as they're singing there. Really, really stunning. If you want a voice lesson, a performance coaching, or want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier or perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. Whether you are a pro, an amateur wanting to be a pro, or just a really enthusiastic shower singer who wants to sing easier in the shower, car, and at the karaoke bar, don't be shy to book a time. What I care about most is helping you take the next step forward on your journey to enjoying your singing and performing. Book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. It's a simple process, and I look forward to working with you online.